July 20th, 2022. Today I want to get into something that seems to be developing here is that the Biden administration and the Democrats are trying to use the current heat wave this summer, which has been kind of one of the notably higher ones I've experienced, to try to push their radical climate change agenda. Um, with Senator Manchin rejecting a deal that had been previously discussed because of the high June inflation number of 9.1%, and saying that the economic impact of the measure that the Democrats have been proposing would further, increase the inflation problem. He has said he wouldn't support anything until he gets the July number, which he would be sometime about a couple of weeks into August. So, and that would put the announcement coming out in the middle of the August recess, which would probably kick things down to after Labor Day. So, at any rate, that seems to be, this has led to Jeff Markey and Sheldon Whitehouse, two Democrat senators who are known for their kind of liberal radical positions, I think, demanding that President Biden declare a national climate emergency using defense type powers to take some sort of radical climate action. So we'll have to see what comes of that. But if you like these videos, please subscribe. If you haven't already, click the bell for notifications, and you can forward these to people. The links. Comments, of course, are appreciated. Yeah, I think this is kind of unfolding development. Apparently, at the present time, the White House has not decided to make such radical maneuvers. I was reading one article on Yahoo News. They were discussing such things as, banning and further restricting the production of oil, which would be kind of in the middle of the current situation, a rather precarious thing to do, I would think. And at the same time, pursuing these other radical agendas. The other problem that he has is that he has to, consider the fact that the Supreme Court has ruled against EPA, having radical powers to enforce these climate policies, and they need to have the authorization from Congress to do this. So this remains another aspect of the situation, is that whatever he does could be met with court challenges. The other idea that has been proposed is that perhaps he would divert defense funding to producing solar or wind projects. Which is another kind of really bad idea, because we need to maintain our defense forces, particularly considering all the other little things he's getting us involved in with the Ukraine situation and all that. While he's doing that, now he wants to divert the funds that's available to something about the climate issue. So, at any rate, that's the kind of situation we're facing here. And, it's kind of falls into the situation I discussed in my last video, which was the fact that, they're rushing headlong into this electric vehicle production without actually having the infrastructure in the electrical grid to actually, maintain the power supply that would be necessary to conduct and to provide energy for those systems. So, in fact, it seems like that there's a possibility that some action will be taken even as early as today, but will be far less than this declaration of a state of emergency. After all, the two senators I mentioned, I think, are a little bit on the radical side. And it seems to me to be completely unjustified. I mean, we've had heat waves before, and it's not unknown throughout many years of my experience that they occasionally say that a given day or two that some sort of a weather record was set. Because, I mean, after all, our weather records don't go back that far anyhow. Over the course of a few thousand years, who knows what records had been set before that were even higher than this. I mean, these periods of heat congestion in given areas are not unknown, and there was a lot of similar events in the 1930s and 1950s. This is, I think, a great overreaction. I believe last year, well, there's been a lot of trouble, of course, now in the Southwest U.S., but last year was kind of known for being particularly cool. I mean, by the region standards. So this seems to be kind of just trying to exploit a short-term problem and trying to make a major policy decision out of it, which they were wanting to do anyhow. The main problem is they continually focusing on solar and wind power instead of something more reliable such as nuclear. If you really are interested in going into this electric economy, you need to produce electric infrastructure based on a reliable energy source, and nuclear would be more in line of that sort of thing. Of course, people have these fears of nuclear because of certain accidents like Fukushima, Chernobyl, and 3 Mile Island, which have caused a lot of contention there. However, almost all these incidents involved much more primitive reactor designs than what we could produce today, which would be far safer than those earlier designs. So I think the fears are overstated there, but the bottom line is that wind generates power in a way that's proportional to what the wind is blowing, and solar doesn't generate power at night, and so it isn't an overall suitable replacement for the coal and natural gas that they seem to not want to use anymore. As if the degree to which anything the United States does unilaterally would really have any real impact anyhow, because the majority of these greenhouse gases are being produced in China and India and other countries. And we seem to think that somehow we can, solve the problem ourselves, but really can't. So anyhow, we'll have to wait and see what kind of action's taken, and let's see how much Manchin stays the course. He seemed to be slightly backtracking in the last announcement I heard today, so I don't know what that means. It seems to me like, to some degree, he's playing a game of going along with them for a while and then backing off at key points in order to delay what they're doing. Because after all, he comes from West Virginia, which is a coal mining state, and obviously these policies won't do West Virginia any good. And again, hopefully this heat thing is more likely to be temporary than permanent. I mean, and the other issue is that even if you want to accept these theories, what's in the air already is probably going to have effects for decades to come. So there's nothing you can do in the short run with an emergency program that's going to really solve the problem. So anyhow, that's kind of what I think about that, and we'll wait and see, if I get any comments back from all of you. By the way, the links to my various, well, not links, I can't always say that. The addresses of my various social media accounts are listed below. I do comment fairly frequently on Twitter, mainly because it seems like the things I see there generate reactions that I want to post. And so anyway, that's all for now, and until next time.